Welcome to the Bottle Poppin' Podcast, where Meg and Heather share their love for oils, friendship, and entrepreneurship. Let's get it poppin'.
Hey everyone, this is Meg.
Hi there, this is Heather.
And we are the Bottle Poppin' Podcast. So Heather, what are we popping today?
We're going to pop open one of the emotional oils today. We're going to pop open Cheer. I just took a whiff. You want to tell me your first impressions?
Yeah, my first impression is that it's really sweet.
Ooh, interesting. My first word was going to be spice.
Oh, well, and it's got both sweet and spicy oils in it. So the list of oils in order of most to least is orange, clove, star anise, lemon myrtle, nutmeg, ginger, cinnamon, and a word I don't know how to pronounce.
I was going to say drevets.
Okay, sure. So for our listeners who are curious, it's spelled Zdravvetz. So if you know how to say that, let us know.
Well, and I didn't hear you say it, but mine also says vanilla. And I just looked at the bottle and it does say vanilla. So
oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Weird that my book doesn't have that.
So yeah, a little bit of sweet, a little bit of spice, a little bit of citrus in here. It smells good. I put it in my diffuser today. This is not an oil that I honestly think about very often for no particular reason. I think if I'm going for a mixture of citrus stuff, I tend to reach for Citrus Bliss. That's just the one that I go for. And it's called the Uplifting Blend. Makes total sense. I feel like the name says exactly what it's supposed to do. So there's not any mystery here for that part.
Right. So I feel like I go through phases where I reach for this a lot and then phases where I don't. And recently, like you, Citrus Bliss has kind of been my happiness go-to. But my very first doTERRA convention that I attended was the year that they released these oils, the Emotion line. And so this was one of the new oils. And of all of the Emotion oils, this was the one I was most drawn to. And I had a really amazing experience at convention. So for those who haven't been to convention before, and I'll say this was convention pre-pandemic, so things were a little bit different, but it's amazing. It's, I think, 3 days long, and then you can tack on additional activities before and after if you want to. But it's so much fun. But also there are 30,000 people, and pre-pandemic, it was sold out every year. So 30,000 people in like this small little area of Salt Lake City is a lot of people, especially if you're an introvert like I am. And so part of it is so exciting and fun, and you learn so much information and you get exposed to all of these new oils. And so even as an introvert, I felt like I was being carried by the excitement. But I remember that first year, by the end of day 2, I was exhausted. But that also happened to be the night that our bigger team, our broader team, so somebody a few levels up from us, was having a party. And I knew I wanted to go to that because I didn't really know anybody else in my bigger team. And I wanted to go. And so I went right before I left to go meet my broader team. I went and picked up a bottle of Cheer and just dabbed a little on my fingers and put it behind my ears. And then in the Uber ride from the convention center to where we were meeting up, by the time I got out of the car, I was totally in extrovert mode.
Really?
And I had so much energy. I talked to so many people and it was so much fun. And what's funny too is the people I did know, they all had arranged to stay together. And so they were all staying in a house together and were just like really done with people. And I didn't decide to go until the very last minute. So I had my own hotel room as well. And then between having my own space at certain points and then having this oil, it made such a difference. Like I wasn't extreme extrovert necessarily, but I was the Meg that most people, if they meet me in that state, they assume that I'm an extrovert because I'm just really comfortable at certain times. But it was the oil. It definitely wasn't because I had the energy to re-energize myself. It was just that oil. And it was
such a good story.
Yeah.
I love that. And this will now be my introvert oil when I need it, because I feel like if I'm going into a situation where I'm going to have to talk in front of people or to people that I don't know, That is not my forte. And so I tend to do the spearmint direction because it's the oil of confident speech. So I'll put a little bit of spearmint on the front of my throat, or I'll put some in my water and drink it. And it works. But I also feel like I'm still overcoming a hurdle. And so I feel like I'm going to start combining cheer behind the ears, like what you're suggesting.
Yeah.
I'll keep doing my spearmint because that is successful to a point for me as well. And then, yeah, well, and that's so funny because I feel like once somebody knows me, once somebody knows you, I think the assumption is that the person is an extrovert.
Right.
Once they know us, but that is definitely not what I feel on the inside. I think my patients are regularly, saying something about, oh, you're so good at just kind of talking to everybody. You must be an extrovert. I'm like, no, this is way out of my comfort zone. I've just been doing it for a really long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and for me, I think people meet me and they assume one or the other, but depending on where they met me and what setting they met me in, they have a very strong opinion one way or the other. And I really am, I think, right there, kind of borderline, but ultimately I get my energy from being alone. Yeah. So if you take away my ability to be alone, then I'm going to be exhausted. Yeah. Real quick.
Well, that's super cool. Thank you for that information. That's really good. And so we had both mentioned that this was part of the emotional aromatherapy kit that they have available. And so it's a set of oils that comes together. The other oils that are in it are motivate, passion, forgive, console, and peace. And by far my family uses peace out of those the most, but this one will be more used now. These also come in little 5 ml bottles that you can put straight into a diffuser or on your skin, but they also come in touch rollers that are already pre-diluted with the fractionated coconut oil. That makes that easy for on the go or topical application as well.
Yeah. And I really like the rollers, especially for those situations, like you said, where you are going to be in public and maybe talking to people you're not comfortable with. It's so easy to apply the rollers. Yes. It's the same way you would apply just like a roll-on perfume or something, but not only are you smelling good, but you're getting the added emotional benefits.
Yes. Well, and speaking of applying the roller, not that you're going to take your shoes off at the party, but I thought it was kind of fun where it was talking about one of the reference books that I was looking at, Advanced Oil Magic. Antioxidants are often found in spice oils. And so when you roll it on the bottoms of your feet, it's an easy way to help combat free radicals. And I'm like, oh, okay, so let's go ahead and put that on just as a precaution anyways.
Right. Can't hurt. So many benefits with these oils. One of the things I read about in the reference books that I'm going to try this actually right after we stop recording, but it has a diffuser blend that sounds amazing. So it's 3 drops of cheer oil, 3 drops of tangerine, and then 2 drops of Douglas fir. And it says that diffusing this transforms grumpiness into ease and cheer in everybody's life. So can't go wrong with that.
No, you can't. And interestingly enough, now that we're talking about that and kind of everyone's life, you wearing the cheer behind your ear, standing next to people, you probably were uplifting them without them or yourself even realizing it too, just because they can, softly smell that standing next to you. And so now they're getting the benefits of that as well. Yes, for everybody.
Yes. That's a really good point. I haven't noticed it with cheer, but maybe because I wasn't aware, but I have worn citrus bloom before to a networking event. And multiple people commented on the way I smelled and loved the way I smell and stuff. And then I watched them visibly relax, because sometimes in networking events, it can be overwhelming, especially for the introverts. And what I didn't know is citrus bloom is one of the oils of community. Huh. And so that's one of the benefits. And I was like, oh, that's perfect for this type of situation with a bunch of people, to at least feel like you're part of a community versus just stepping into a meeting.
Yeah.
So yeah, but to give people cheerfulness and happiness is awesome as well.
Well, and we haven't mentioned before that these oils can be used as kind of that pure fume as well. You do have to be careful with certain ones, because if you do have citrus oils or bergamot or something like that, you want to make sure that you're not putting it where the sun's going to see it, because some of them are photosensitive. Right. However, you can apply these and they can be strong enough to use as a scent, a personal scent as well. my husband had on In Tune one time when we were going to church, and the pastor gave him a hug, and he's like, man, you smell good. It's like, my husband was not applying it as the personal scent, but it's interesting that it was still strong enough for somebody else to be able. I don't smell it in the car just because I get used to us having stuff on.
Right.
But it was interesting that, somebody else was able to recognize it as well. I think people are used to wearing really strong, heavy perfumes. Mm-hmm. If you're listening to this and you're one of those people, please don't stand next to me. I'm sorry. I really get a headache absolutely immediately if I am standing next to strong perfume. And so, oils have been a lot better for me from that standpoint. They don't seem to irritate me that way. Mm-hmm. But yet I can wear them as a scent. My husband can wear them as a scent, and we get the benefits of it, but it's also a pleasant thing to be around.
Yeah. Yeah. Ironically, this morning, my husband and I went to breakfast, and we were the first people there when they opened because we're morning people. But we sat down in a booth, and then other people slowly trickled in. But there was a woman that walked by with a really strong perfume. And I just thought like, wow, okay, that's strong perfume. And then somebody else walked by, and it was like, I don't know if it was aftershave or his, what's perfume
cologne.
Called for men? Yeah, cologne. Yeah. But then this guy walked in, and he 100% had essential oils on. Like, I don't know what it was, but it was definitely essential oils. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool to like notice the difference,
Well, and now that you say that, I was in a coffee drive-through line, and I don't even remember what I had put on that morning, but I had delivered food. I dropped off food at the school for a luncheon, and the lady taking my order, she says, wow, it smells good in there. And I was like, oh, okay, I just dropped off food. She's like, no, it's essential oils. And I was like, okay, yes, that is a possibility as well. And she's like, I use them too. It smells so good. I'm like, all right.
I love that. Yes. So we can all smell our fellow oilers. Well, anything else about this awesome uplifting oil?
Not about this oil specifically. However, I did want to talk about doTERRA just started a promotion that's running April 1st. We're in 2022 right now where we're recording this. So April 1st through June 30th of this same year, that you can customize your own enrollment kit. So if you wanted the cheer, but let's say you didn't necessarily want the other emotional oils, you could get the cheer, but then you could get other things that you wanted to be included in that kit, which is really nice and unique for doTERRA. You're not kind of plugged into a specific set of oils that they're offering, all of which are great. But I think this is really a big highlight for people that have certain products that they want to be able to get. Now you can do that. So if that's something that you're interested in learning more about, please reach out to us. You can find us on bottlepoppinpodcast.com. You can find us on Instagram, and we can talk more about that.
Yeah. We would love to help you customize your kit and get exactly what you need to support you and your family and whatever your goals are. So definitely reach out. Along those same lines, if you just want to reach out and connect with us every third Thursday of the month, except for September, we will be doing a live Ask Us Anything. And so if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, we're going to be doing it over Zoom, and you can jump on. It will just be 30 minutes. So 7 p.m. Central Time till 7:30 p.m. And you can jump on and ask us any questions you have about oils or, I guess, life. All right, we assume your question will be about oils because that's what we know about. But who knows? If you want the best, spaghetti recipe, jump on, ask us. And so, again, you can register for that either at bottlepoppingpodcast.com or on our social media links. Just go to the link that's there on Instagram, and you can sign up for it there as well. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening today. We so appreciate you taking the time to listen to this. We hope you found it helpful and that it brings some cheer into your life. And feel free to tell your friends about this as well. We'll be back next Friday with a new episode.
Thanks for tuning in. For more information, you can follow these bottle poppin' ladies at bottlepoppinpodcast.com. Tune in next week to learn about what bottle we're poppin'. Until next time, take care. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This podcast is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.